I've been watching Black Beauty by Tyler Perry. If you haven't watched it, it's on Netflix. It's such an interesting show for me. I actually like it. There's a lot of people that don't like it, but I do. Because it explores so many things that happens within the sex industry, stripping, all that kind of stuff, and some of the things that we probably don't see as to why some of these people make these choices. Perhaps they're being trafficked or they're being coerced into these situations, right? So I think it was an eye opener and quite educating in that respect. But one of the main reasons why I kind of wanted to discuss the show is the dynamics between the two protagonists of the show, the husband and wife. Um, the husband, who's the son of the person that owns the beauty company, and the wife of the wife also, who is one of great leaders at the company, right? So it was just interesting watching the show and seeing the dynamics between the two couples. I mean, the main couple. And, obviously, I always talk about narcissism and things like that. And I had a discussion with someone a few weeks ago, and they were saying that they don't think that two narcissists can coexist. And I said, yeah, they can, right? So that show, those the two main characters, the husband and wife, I believe that their character was, they were not had narcissistic traits. He came across narcissistic, and they perfectly exemplify how two narcissists can coexist. They're both very much about image, and on the show they kept talking about, both of them, how much their image was so important to them, specifically the woman. How the image was so important to them, how they were perceived by people, and how they were perceived by the public, to the point that even people within their family, like her father-in-law and her uncle-in-law, they didn't even know how bad she was, right? You saw how cold she was when she ran over the aunt, right? And she found out that she ran over the aunt, and instead of her trying to rectify it, it was like, no, we've got to clean up this mess, right? Obviously, that's narcissistic characteristics trait, where they're kind of cold, they don't have any type of emotions or anything else like that. And then another indicator that she was a narcissist, right, is, I think there was one scene where her and her husband were arguing and fighting and stuff like that, and then they were just about to go out into the public, and then she kissed him, right? And that wasn't an act of affection. She was just doing it for the public image, right? And with him, there are some individual traits as well that also indicate that he's a narcissist as well, that are even separate from their dynamics, right? Look at the way he was treating the other women, and he was practically abusing them, and controlling them, and subjugating them and oppressing them, right? All those things that he couldn't necessarily do with his wife, he was doing with the other women. He was exploiting other women, right? Which is clear narcissistic traits, right? And degrading other women as well. But between them, right, they're together mainly for the image, to gain the image of perfection, to gain the inheritance, right? Because there was a scene where it said that one of the main reasons why they were together is because they didn't have to split their inheritance if the father was to die, right? They would get more if they were together. And obviously the wife was good at what she does. She contributes a lot to the company. So that's another value that the husband gains from her. And obviously what the wife gains from him is that she married into a family that had wealth, right? So when people say that two narcissists can't be together, they can, because you have to remember they're very equally yoked, right? And the narcissists are always driven by the need for admiration. She wanted admiration, so she obviously married somebody who was in a wealthy family. She wanted that level of admiration, right? She wanted that a level of that would give her that superiority in society, and that's what narcissists crave, right? And he wanted the image of the pretty and the smart wife, and that's what he got, right? And but if you look at the relationship, it was very volatile, very volatile. There was hardly any affection the whole series between them. It was literally and also there was, within those dynamics, there was very much a lot of competition between them on who was the smartest. There was times where she would degrade him and she would tell him that he was dumb and he was stupid, and there was times where he would try to compete with her when he went to go and see the lawyer and was trying to undercut the wife by trying to hire the lawyer, right? And so there's always that within the narcissistic relationship dynamic. There's always that competition between them. Yeah, but the thing is that two narcissists can be together because they have a common goal, right? Their common goal is that they want to get the admiration from the public, or who from their family members, or who for whoever. They want to be put on a pedestal within society, because you have to remember, even the wife was seen as a great person, a philanthropist. At the beginning of the show, she gave away 1 million to a struggling single mother, right? But when she got in the car, she was disgusted by the fact that she had given 1 million away. So they like the admiration, they crave the admiration, right? And they know that being in a marriage in society is going to give them that leverage, and then being a wealthy couple in a marriage is even going to give them more leverage within society, right? So that's one of the reasons why two narcissists can be together, because it's for a common goal, right? A common goal, which is usually associated with their image, but when you get to the root of their relationship, and for those that have seen their relationship for what it is, right? Those behind closed doors, and they hardly let anyone behind those closed doors to see what it really is in essence, right? You will see that there's a lot of infidelity on both sides, because you have to remember that narcissists, they don't see relationships in the same way that an empath will, or a normal person will. They see it as a form of supply, right? For whatever reason, maybe for money, for power, for gain, for image, or whatever it may be, right? And so they have a very superficial connection to their partners, right? So infidelity and all those kind of stuff is not a big deal for them, because they don't see marriage in the same way that people that are not narcissists are, right? So they're most likely to cheat, and you can see on the show, the husband was cheating, the wife was cheating. There was a lot of tit for tat, and if you really truly observe, you see that two narcissists can coexist, and they can be in a relationship for a very long time. That's why I always say that I don't get swayed by the fact that somebody's been in a relationship for a long period of time, or marriage for a long period of time, because unless you truly know them and can vouch for their character, for all you know, that they can be two narcissists in a marriage. And two narcissists in a marriage, they're just coexisting for whatever the objective or the main goal is, and until that person, or it does not help them to reach their objective material wise or whatever, they will continue to stay with them until that time where they're preventing them from making money, or they're distorting their image, they will continue to stay with that person. Yeah, so I just wanted to use that show as an analogy, to give you that understanding that two narcissists can coexist. And to be quite honest, I think they coexist for longer, because if you're not a narcissist and someone is cheating, it's going to affect you. If for another a narcissist, it doesn't affect them, because they would just go out and do the same thing, or they're already doing the same thing. They have a natural distrust for each other because they know what they're like, you know. But I think those types of dynamics is better for them, because at least in that respect they're equally yoked. But one is an empath and a narcissist. That's why the complexity arises.